I am Zaviyelov Vladimir Mikhailovich, a citizen of the Republic of Kazakhstan, a resident of the town of Yesik, and I declare to the world about the discovery made by me, which is the key to the overcomprehension of the world and the place of a human in it, which is the key for coming to a new level of the development of science and technology, which reveals an access to the inexhaustible source of energy, which will save the mankind from the approaching catastrophe of global warming. And it's only the top of a huge iceberg. In order to enter the subject, let's make a little excursion into the history. More than 4 centuries ago, Copernicus proposed the heliocentric system to the world, but even bigger contribution into development and advancement of the heliocentric system was made by Kepler. It was just he who demonstrated elliptic orbits, motion of planets around the Sun, and made the first tables. Later, Newton confirmed validity of the laws of Kepler, having arranged gravity force in the solar system. In its final sight, the heliocentric system may be characterized by the following characteristics. In cold vacuum of the boundless space, there moves a solar system under its inertia. Around the Sun, along the elliptic orbits, there move solitary planets under their inertia. Around the planets, along the elliptic orbits, there move satellites under their inertia. All the objects of the solar system move in the potential gravity field, so the work connected with transference isn't carried out. All the objects move under their inertia infinitely long. In the 20th century, in order to delete a huge question mark in the system, the Sun was cooled incandescent lamp with a thermonuclear battery of the limited time of action. The subject of the given research is the velocity of the planetary motion along the elliptical orbits around the Sun. Let's see into the rate of movement at the specific points: perihelion, the point of vernal intersection with the Sun trajectory; aphelion, on the trajectory of the Earth with its eternal satellite, the Moon. In any reference book, we can see that the velocity of the Earth's motion along its orbit around the Sun is about 30 kilometers per second. It is a bit faster in perihelion and a bit slower in aphelion. The velocity of the Sun motion, or of the whole solar system around the center of the galaxy, is about 230 kilometers per second. The Earth rotates around its axis counterclockwise. It moves around the Sun counterclockwise. The Sun rotates around its axis counterclockwise if being watched from the northern side of the starry sky. Speed is a vectoral magnitude, so we shall make the analysis in the vectoral form. At the point of perihelion, the trajectory of the motion of the Earth with its eternal satellite the Moon has the same direction and is parallel to the trajectory motion of the Sun or of the whole solar system around the center of the galaxy. In order not to be lonely in the cold vacuum of the boundless space, the Earth must move at the point of perihelion with the rate of the Sun motion as minimum, and outstrip the Sun with the familiar orbital velocity as maximum. Hence, a real Earth motion velocity at the point of perihelion is none other than the sum of two familiar speeds. The vector of the Earth's motion velocity at the point of perihelion can be expressed without any reserve by the sum of two monodirectional parallel vectors, one of which is the vector of the Earth's motion velocity around the Sun. Another one is the vector of the Sun motion velocity of the whole solar system around the center of the galaxy. At the point of a vernal intersection of the orbit of Earth with its eternal satellite the Moon and the trajectory of the Sun motion, we have the vector of speed directed along the tangents to the trajectory of the Earth's motion and equal in its quantity to the familiar orbital velocity. In order not to be absorbed by the Sun, the Earth has to displace along the trajectory of the Sun motion with the speed equal as minimum to the Sun motion velocity. Thus, at the given point, there is one more speed vector for the Earth's motion directed along the trajectory of the Sun motion and having the quantity equal to the Sun motion velocity or to the rate of the motion of the whole solar system on the trajectory around the center of galaxy. A summary vector received by geometrical addition of vectors points consistently. We have to go there. Having done a simple operation of addition of two familiar vectors, we have at the point of aphelion a summary vector of huge quantity speed, about 200 kilometers per second, and directed in opposition to the direction of the Earth's motion. This whole absurdity just makes us come to the only correct conclusion. For centuries, up to today, instead of real trajectory of motion, its opposite, the convolution, was used. But the complete truth was always next to us. The Kazakhs have a holiday to Sakisir when a baby starts walking. Cutting hobble on the baby's legs, they symbolically open in front of him all the ways into the world. I also tear this closed circle. Here on the monitor, perhaps not in its best way, the trajectory of motion of everything in the surrounding micro and macro world shown. Our solar system can be characterized by following characteristics. In the full of strength and energy vacuum of the boundless space, next to the center of the galaxy, during harmonic oscillations along the trajectory of its motion, the Sun moves there. Next to the Sun, during harmonic oscillations along the trajectory of its motion, solitary planets move there. Next to the planets, during harmonic oscillations along their trajectories of motion, their satellites move there. The work connected with transference and rotation of the solar system objects is carried out by gravity fields forces of the interacting objects. Energy for fulfilling of this work is provided by gravity fields of interacting objects arranged in consecutive order of the hierarchical staircase from top to bottom. The motion of all the objects is directed in one direction, forward and only forward into the bright future. I don't advance any theories. I just show what has always been on the surface, covered intentionally or because of thoughtlessness by the screen of orbital motion of objects. But all perfectly created theories, together with the Big Bang theory, in the basis of which there is orbital motion of objects, must be dumped. It is under their leadership the mankind is, as never before, on the brink of self-destruction. I shall not deliver the lecture on heavenly mechanics, telling you about oscillations in the system, about conditions of their rise. I will say the only thing: having appeared once, the oscillations are going on endlessly, if new powerful perturbations do not arise in the system. In order to understand what global warming is, I will tell you where from and how the sun gets energy. It is known that the gravity field has a unique property which neither electric nor magnetic fields possess. It is impossible to screen the gravity field. So each part of the substance located in the center of the object or on its surface is operated by the sum of powers of all interacting gravity fields. In their motion, solitary planets deform constantly by their gravity fields the sun body, creating flows and ebbs. By this, they displace the sun gravity center. This gigantic flywheel rotates in the potential gravity field of the galactic center in search of balance. The work connected with replacing of the sun substance against the forces of gravity field is reformed by the sun substance into heat. There is no thermonuclear reaction on the sun. It is pure energy, the energy of gravity field, reformed by the sun substance into heat. A minimum amount of heat is exuded in the center of the sun, maximum on its surface. That is why the sun is wearing the crown. And now let's apply it to the Holy Trinity, the sun, the earth, the moon. It is just this combination of the three heavenly bodies that let life on the earth be conceived and develop. The sun is the source of the daylight and heat, but the main heat is received by the earth while rotating around its axis. The moon, its eternal satellite, has been stabilizing for millenniums the thermal balance of the Earth. The first emergence of the Earth satellite vehicle opened the era of global warming. Each new Earth satellite vehicle is shortening our way to self-destruction. The horror of this situation becomes clear when you realize that the heat is exuded inside the Earth. If the urgent measures are not taken, very soon the ground under our feet will be on fire. I hope that the point of no return has not been reached yet, and we have still having time to save ourselves. Now the human has got strength and power in the solar system, that is, the opportunity of transformation of planets or their satellites for colonization or any other purposes. And if the mankind continues its life on the earth, it must preserve piously and protect earthly space and its eternal satellite, the moon.